Take 3. If you save somebody's life, is it conditional? Hey, I'll save you, but girl, don't get abused. Don't do it. I don't have time for that shit. There are not a ton of things in the world that I take extremely seriously, but one thing that I do is take my friendships super seriously. So I don't, and I can't, and I won't understand how a group of people can go from best friends to Harry Potter versus he who shall not be named in 17 days. So today we're going to talk about the end of the relationship between Jen Gerard, Nick Snider, Dustin Dailey, Paige Christie, and literally half of the rest of the internet. But it seems pretty obvious to me that this is an example of how two things can be true at the same time. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mercedes. I talk about things on the internet. I'm not really sure what I talk about at this point, but if you want to find out more, stick around or watch one of my other videos. After this video, I will definitely be talking about some mindless reality TV because this one was intense and it's not as funny as my other ones, I have to say. I pride myself on being pretty funny and this probably ain't gonna be it, but stick around, find out. Let's get straight into the topic for today. Creator friendships are definitely not something that's new. Some people are friends before they become influencers and they stick around and bring their friends along. Some people join friend groups of people who share similar experiences or similar interests, and they don't exactly know each other anywhere offline. But none of them, in my experience of watching YouTube since I was 14 years old, ever feel like they are true, real friendships. Not based on content, going out, hanging out, not discussing the internet friendships. What happens when your adult problems become internet drama and speculation? And how do you maintain those relationships when your livelihood or your sponsorships are on the line? It's time for us to talk about the main people involved in this story. So there are no less than probably 10 individual people involved in this situation, but because I do not have the emotional energy to give you a 3-hour video, we're going to focus on 4 people with a 5th that kind of stands in for the rest of the group. Just as a reminder, don't reach out to anybody that's involved or mentioned in this video with any negativity. This is truly a video for me to rant about my feelings after experiencing this situation from an outside perspective. I do not know these people. Everything that I'm saying is just my opinion based on what has been said online. There was so much involved in this situation. I may not be getting everything correct, but I do have a lot of strong opinions on this situation. So please feel free to leave comments about your opinions and where you think that I've missed something. So for a little bit of context, we have 3 people who have lived together since about March of 2022. We have Jen Gerard. She's the owner and CEO of Gerard Cosmetics. We talked about her in a previous video that was related to the Jeanette Braun copyright situation, but we didn't get into much of her individual story in that video. Next, we have Dustin Dailey. Dustin's been on YouTube as a mainly beauty drama channel for a long time. I've watched his videos in the past, like I said, when I was really into the beauty side of YouTube. Dustin Dailey is somebody who contributed a lot of information specifically about some of the biggest beauty influencers on the platform. In the last of the trio of roommates, we have Nick Snider. A lot of this information is going to be specifically about him because he has publicly addressed this more than others in the situation, but he is also a drama channel that focuses on a lot of different things, but mostly influencer drama. I also think that Nick and Dustin are currently engaged. If they're not engaged to be married, then they're at least a couple and they have been together for quite some time. The 4th person involved in this situation is someone throughout the video we are going to call the boyfriend. I don't know this person and he is not a public personality from what I can tell, and I don't feel comfortable using his name even though it's easily findable through all of this situation. Since he is what seems to be a private citizen, I'm not going to mention him by name. Last is someone I have talked about before on my channel, Paige Christie. So again, if you saw my previous video on Jeanette Braun, shameless plug, go watch my other videos if you can. I'd love you forever. Maybe. Be nice. But anyway, with Paige, I did reference her in the Jeanette Braun video because she has some issues between herself and Jen Gerard related to a picture of her auntie being used on the Gerard Cosmetics website, which is what was discussed in that video. So all of that actually brings us back to this situation. In Paige's original video, she said that there was some behind the scenes friendship issues that were going on that she wasn't going to go into in her video. And I didn't really look into it at the time, but someone did leave a comment under one of my posts on Reddit to specifically look at this situation and review all of the content related to it. I'm really using Paige as a stand-in for the rest of the group of friends who were involved in this situation. This is exactly the type of video that I live for. I love rummaging through all the rumors and the speculations and conflicting timelines and receipts and seeing if I can come up with something that looks like a consistent story that really tells the full picture. And this is exactly that. So I went straight to Microsoft Excel and I started my timeline. So it's important to start off with the very beginning of this situation, not exactly how it was lined out publicly, but what led to all of the drama. So in order to make this make sense, we're going to start with what is called the intervention. So it looks like on September 16th of 2023, Nick and Dustin coordinated, or at least someone in their friend group coordinated, a mostly virtual sit down with Jen Gerard. And this was regarding her new kind of budding relationship with a guy that we're going to call the boyfriend. So according to all the receipts out there, on September 14th, shout out to my birthday, shout out to the Virgos, September 14th, Jen had sent Nick and Dustin her new boyfriend's information because she could tell that they were starting to get kind of concerned about some red flags that they were seeing during the start of this relationship. After the boys, Nick and Dustin, did a background check on the boyfriend, they found that he had an ex-wife or an estranged wife. He also may have had kind of criminal proceedings related to that relationship that was discovered. So then someone in the friend group took it upon themselves to reach out to his ex-wife, or again, estranged wife. I'm not sure if the divorce is final, but they wanted more information. And according to Nick and Dustin, they were not involved in this conversation. So it was a couple of other members of the group who did this reach out. So full disclosure, even after I looked at this for hours and tried to figure this out, it really wasn't clear to me exactly how much detail the intervention team received from the background check versus what they were told by the estranged wife. Either way, it doesn't really factor into my final opinion of everything, so we still will review some of that information that was provided. So according to Jen's friend group, the boyfriend had a upcoming hearing that was related to threatening of his estranged wife and potentially son with some type of violence, which resulted in him having his guns taken away. Again, I'm not sure if this was found in the background check. So they present this information to Jen, and from what I can tell, this is what resulted in the end of their friendship. Whether or not it's what happened during the time of the intervention or what proceeded to happen after it, I still cannot figure out, but let's look through more of the information and see if you can figure out exactly why they are no longer friends. So here's to me where things start getting messy. So on September 17th, again, this is probably soon after this intervention, Dustin tweeted kind of cryptically a comment that said, "Just remember, no good deed ever goes unpunished." So cryptic messages in the drama community are not out of the ordinary. So there wasn't a lot of interaction with this post. There were like 100 likes and a couple of people that reposted it. So when things start getting really messy is on September 18th at 9:14 p.m. Nick Snider posted a tweet that said, "I am writing this to let everyone know we are in a very serious and dangerous situation. We are currently packing our things to leave Texas. If I have to provide more details, I will. I have no problem posting my text messages filled with concern for our friend, allowing y'all to see the manipulation for yourself. I am writing this in case anything happens to us. There are numerous people out of Texas that will have all the names and info of those involved. There are many witnesses to all this madness who can confirm everything I'm saying. Sadly, a friendship is ending, but I refuse to have our safety at risk for someone's relationship. I have tried to keep things amicable. The pushback is becoming too much." So this was the first sign to everyone online that something was wrong in the castle. And when I say castle, guys, I'm not being funny. These people were living nice. We're going to talk about how nice they were living, but just know it was kind of a castle. So from an outsider looking in, shortly following this Twitter message, a barrage of screenshots started to hit Reddit and Twitter. According to Nick, Dustin, and Paige, Jen, and her boyfriend were the one who brought everything to the internet. So this statement itself of who brought this situation to the internet was very curious to me because I really couldn't find any evidence prior to the 19th of any statements being made by Jen or her boyfriend. So again, after reviewing 1 billion receipts, I finally found the Reddit post in question. So on September 19th, someone posted to Reddit. Right. Is that right? Yeah. Someone posted Nick's tweet from the 18th asking if anyone knew what was going on with Nick and Dustin, and that he posted a series of these weirdly cryptic tweets. And he noticed that him and Dustin are no longer following Jen Gerard and vice versa. So this was the first mention that I could find on Reddit about this situation. So on that same day, so on the 19th, Jen responded to some messages on Reddit, basically saying, the messages were saying that they were alleging she was in a toxic or abusive relationship. And she came through and said, guys, calm down. The information that Nick and Dustin are presenting is being misrepresented. I am in a relationship with a very nice man. I'm summarizing here, but she says, they are blowing this out of proportion, trying to control who I can be friends with. And they have not assisted with any bills in 5 or 6 months and are also behind on rent by 2 months. And that becomes really important later on. So just hang on to that point. Again, while digging the next day, so this is the 20th at this point, a Reddit post from someone claiming to be the boyfriend shows up. And in a huge summary here, and you can pause to read the entire message if you'd like. So in my best summary, he says, I've only been dating Jen for a few weeks, but I feel like I should share my perspective. He says that the guys smoke a lot of things and they don't clean up after themselves. Also, they are behind on their bills and are not contributing financially. He also did state in this message that they had contacted his estranged wife while they're in the middle of a divorce proceeding, which is causing him stress and his family stress. He also has a daughter that lives with him, which also came up quite a lot, and we're going to talk about that as well. At the end of his message, he basically asked people to remain neutral and to not feed into the rumors or speculation. From what I could tell, I don't know this man from Adam, but this seemed like a very reasonable Reddit post. So when I read the message for the first time, I kind of thought, oh, well, yeah, that seems reasonable. Don't spread rumors or speculate. Just leave it be. Another thing that's important to mention when we talk about who brought this situation to the internet is there was a Twitter account. It was a sock account. I believe it was started a couple of days prior to, or maybe even at the time this situation was going on, but it was a person by the name of Beauty and Glam 333. Nick, Dustin, and Paige immediately attached this to the boyfriend. They said that this is him and that the messages that this person was tweeting were forcing their hand to release all of these screenshots. You can speculate on that. They absolutely have every right to believe that is true. But from what I can tell, there is no proof out there that directly ties the boyfriend to this Twitter. Also, the boyfriend had his own Twitter and was saying his own thing. So I don't know why. Again, I could be completely wrong here, but I don't know why he would be using a fake account to tweet similar things that he was already saying with his own account, either on Reddit or on Twitter. So just while we're going through the timeline, I kind of want to switch gears to Paige's perspective for just a moment. So I have to say, disclaimer, I really enjoy most of Paige's content, and I am probably showing my hand too soon, but I do not love the way that this situation was dealt with from her perspective. So let's just talk about her tweets. So soon after all of this was happening, Paige made a 4-part Twitter thread that, one, started off by saying that the narcissist, which pet peeve here, guys, if you are not qualified to diagnose someone as a narcissist, you are extremely watering down the term narcissist. Every person who makes up a lie is not a narcissist. Every person who's into themselves is not a narcissist. Please, for the love of God, stop calling everybody a narcissist. But I digress. Anyways, the narcissist brought all this to social media when he left some threatening messages on Dustin's video that were harassing him, was the first message. And so these comments, according to Paige, these are the comments that first made the boys want to, I hate saying the boys, that made Nick and Dustin want to leave their home. They felt they were being threatened and harassed by these comments that were being made under Dustin's video. So in her second message, she showed a series of screenshots of things that had been texted to Nick from the man, the boyfriend that was in question. It looks like these messages were sent to both Nick and Jen on the same thread. So it was like a three-way message. And I've read through these messages on multiple occasions now, just to make sure that I was being fair to this situation. I am not finding the harassment or the threats in these messages. There's kind of two things that are brought up in the original message. One is that he does threaten karma upon them for how they have been treating him and Jen, which karma, I mean, I don't think karma is a threat. I think karma is you either believe in it or you don't. I mean, it's not dangerous. The other thing that he threatens is to make a video about the situation that they've been experiencing and kind of exposing how they have been treated. So as a person who consumes drama content on YouTube, people who create that content cannot then say that that content is threatening or harassment. That's literally Dustin and Nick's platform, is to make videos about other people. So I also don't think that that was a threat or harassment. But the one thing I will give Nick, and I'm kind of going, off the top of my head here, because I've listened to this video that he made a million times, but he did say that he did not like that Jen gave him his phone number when he had already said that he didn't feel comfortable with this person. And that I will give him. I will give him that I do not think that it was right that Jen gave his phone number to somebody. Again, whether that makes you in such fear for yourself that you need to post about it on Twitter, I don't know. You tell me. Who knows? So another quick note here, because I've been looking at this way too long. So according to Nick, there were never ever any comments underneath Dustin's video. We're going to get to Nick's response to all of this in just a minute, but specifically he said,
1, there were no comments ever left on Dustin's video or my video by this man. Just an issue here with what you had to say. You never left any comments on Dustin or my video, because if you would have, those would have been put on Twitter and we would have discussed it during that time. So I don't know who you were fooling. I don't know if you were telling her that and she was believing that, because it seems like she was believing a lot of what you're.
So again, if that's the case, then according to Paige, if there were no harassing comments or threats underneath their pages, what are we talking about? So don't get me wrong. If I live with anybody, anyone at all who starts dating someone who makes me feel uncomfortable or who I think is dangerous or is putting myself and my partner in an unsafe situation, you absolutely have the right to set appropriate boundaries and say, hey, I either don't want them here or I'm going to need to move out, which I think is exactly what could have happened. And this could have all been a moot point. You are an adult. If you don't feel comfortable in a situation, you can remove yourself from that situation, but you can remain friends. Anyways, I'm getting too far ahead of myself because this situation is driving me nuts. I also have to just show this one picture that they posted. Because what? Why did you post this on Twitter? We need to talk about what we're posting online. I mean, God almighty. Stop posting stuff online like this. This is silly. Don't do that. So back to Paige. She says that Jen refused to say that her boyfriend would not come to the home that they shared. And again, you can look at this either way. They are free to make the request and she is free to deny it. That is also her home. And you're not going to tell me who I can bring in my home either. So we can agree to disagree and one of us can leave. That's how I feel. The last thing that Paige said is that it was originally Jen and her boyfriend that brought out the kind of sensitive information about the call to the estranged wife, his background and things like that to the internet, and that Nick was intentionally vague about the whole situation that was going on. So that's true. I mean, they're the ones who said, this is what's happening and here's the whole side of the story. So after I reviewed everything that was posted online, what I still could not understand in this situation is how this resulted in a complete failure of a relationship or a friendship. I could not see what in this situation that happened caused this entire group of friends, like I said, it was about 8 people, to say, we are no longer going to be friends with Jen Gerard. So briefly, before I talk about my opinions, let me talk about why I absolutely cannot shut up about this situation. So a couple of weeks ago now, Nick Snider posted a 2-hour video, and I went into it thinking that it would absolutely explain everything. And I mean, if it's a 2-hour video and you say that you have receipts, I'm expecting to walk away from that thinking, yep, you're right, and Jen Gerard is a POS. But about 20 minutes into the video, we were still talking about how much Jen loved to drag Jaclyn Hill. She was obsessed with drama channels. Their house burned down, and Nick felt like she was responsible for his mom's cats dying. There was a lot of stuff involved in this video, but none of the things that were being discussed, at least in the first 25 minutes of the video, had anything to do with what had happened in September. So I became very confused. And I decided, Paige did say in her tweets to let's hear their entire side out, wait until the boys give their complete side of the story, and then make your own judgment. So that's what I have done. I've watched that 2-hour video minimum 3 times to try to understand the perspective of Nick. And spoiler alert, that he's not going to like the rest of this video. So Nick, if you're here, you should turn it off because you're not going to like it. Another thing that was very strange to me in Nick's video response was that during the middle of kind of him ranting about some things he was upset with Jen Gerard about, he called out another content creator by the name of Metamorphosis Rock. So I put a little pin in that name to figure out why exactly he would be calling them out for being absolutely an idiot, I think is what he called them. But I wanted to see what it is that they said so that I could make my own judgments. And let me just say, after reviewing Metamorphosis Rock's video, which I will put in the description of this video, she was thinking exactly what I was thinking, but she was thinking it in September. So I was very impressed with her analysis of the situation. Some things that I disagreed with her on, but she happens to know these people actually, maybe not super close friends, but she is familiar with them. One of the things that Nick says is wrong with her running to the internet to make a comment is that he's bothered that she received a check at some point from Jen Gerard, meaning that I guess she was an affiliate or has received promo or something from Gerard Cosmetics. Just as a reminder, Nick, so did you. You were also paid by Gerard Cosmetics. So is anyone that was paid by Jen Gerard at any point in time, do we no longer believe their stories, or do we just no longer like their opinion? Confusing. Pick a side. So in the beginning of this video, I said that 2 things can be true. So let's say that this boyfriend is totally trash. I do not know him at all. Let's say he's the worst. Let's say he's the most dangerous person in the world. Hell, if I know, he might be. I don't know. But Nick's response can also be trash, a trash basket, a leftover meal from 6 weeks ago. So just a brief summary of some of the things that Nick accused Jen of in his 2-hour response. He insinuated that she was jealous of his relationship with Dustin. He made several comments that she was neglectful of her dog. He said that she did nothing but obsess over Jaclyn Hill, which so does the entire internet. He also made a lot of statements about the boyfriend's daughter that so the boyfriend has, according to him, a daughter that's either 18 or 19 years old. I don't know, but these are literal grown-ass adults, okay? And some of the comments that he made in his video were, and I'm talking about Nick Snider here, they were so disgusting. If he doesn't know, they were disgusting. And full stop. You can feel however you want to feel about a dad spending time with his daughter, but to insinuate that there is something creepy about their relationship, I'm sorry, that should have been left out of that video. I don't care how you felt about Jen or the boyfriend. That is so beyond what I am capable of moving past. Even if you did think that there was something off about the relationship between this father and daughter, wouldn't that then make the daughter a victim of someone? You think for 2 seconds. This is a young girl. Why did you even have to bring her up in this conversation? I didn't get it. Anyway, move on, Mercedes. You're just ranting at this point. So all this made me take a pause and rewind the tape and look at the actual evidence that was presented. Like you, I was washing the dishes when I was watching this long ass video, and I didn't take the time to look at the actual screenshots that were presented. So I took a look at them, and there's 100 accusations dragging somebody, but there's not a lot of evidence of someone being an absolutely horrible person to either one of these men. So let's look at my theories. One thing that was very clear in both all of the online posts on Twitter and on Reddit and the post from Nick that was 2 hours was that Jen made it pretty clear that they were behind on their rent by 2 months and hadn't paid other bills. And I truly do believe, and this is fully my opinion, that that is the reason that Nick got set off. The conversation that they had, like I said, was, I believe, on the either 16th or 17th. And the real messages didn't start coming out in true vitriol until after Jen made the statement that they were behind on rent. I will also say I'm a member of the Reddit that this was posted in. I think it was Beauty Guru Chatter is the Reddit post that she was talking in. And that group of people were not on the side of Nick and Dustin. They had originally went on to the Reddit and started kind of defending themselves or talking back at Jen. And I have noticed that a lot of those posts are no longer there. So I don't know if they deleted them or if the moderators took them out, because there was a lot of back and forth going on and it got really out of hand. So the second point I want to make when it comes to the money situation is that Nick and Dustin were behind on 2 months of rent. They discussed this in a text message between each other. It has been confirmed that they said that they were behind on bills. In this discussion and all of these Twitter posts, we learned that their rent for the home they are living in is $10,800 dollars. 10,000. This is in Texas. This is in Texas. Do you know what kind of house you can get for 10 stacks in Texas? Girl, that is a lot of money. You might think, dang, paying half of that every month, I'd get behind on rent too. So paying $5,400 per month, that's a lot of damn money. But no, that's not how much they were paying. Jen only had these two men paying $2,800 per month. You're telling me the man who made a 2-hour-long video talking about how Jen had a failing business and that she focuses more on Jaclyn Hill than she does on her business, and that maybe she should pick some color swatches for some lipsticks, was paying $8,000 a month on rent, baby. It sounds like Jen is more than capable. It sounds like she is more than capable of whatever it is she's doing. Maybe her business sucks. I don't freaking know. But she's paying a lot more than I can contribute to a household. And a lot more than she should be contributing to 2 grown men living in her house. This, to me, that one shocked me. Just shocked. Also, in the beginning of Nick's video, or not really in the beginning, 25 minutes in, it feels like, he made it a choice. He made the artistic choice to include a screenshot of him scrolling through all the money that they had paid to Jen over the last 2 years. And that's great. Grown people should be contributing to their own living situation, but none of those were proof that you hadn't been paying the bills. This was factual. I don't know what we're even addressing here. He said that some people had been calling them like bums or people who were like mooching off of Jen online, but she didn't say that. That was just random people online. So if you made this 2-hour video so that you could address misconceptions about you, those misconceptions were just strangers on the internet. Jen just said y'all hadn't been paying for several months, which was a fact. You could have just moved right on past that one real quick. So my 405th point on this same topic is in Nick's super long response. He talks about how he would often give shout outs to the brand for free for years. They were doing all this promo for her, trying to make the business work. They were reaching out to influencers for her. They were doing all this stuff for her. But babe, talk to me. Were you an affiliate of Gerard Cosmetics at any point in time? Were you receiving money? Were you receiving money from Gerard Cosmetics? Were they the ones paying you? Girl, were you sponsored? Stop it. So how's that free? Beyonce, calm down. Get Beyonce. That wasn't free. You were being paid. If that's what affiliates do, they promote a brand so that people will click on their link so that you will get money. So you can say that you were doing it out of the niceness and kindness of your heart, but no, that's not what it was. And yes, I'm glad that you continued to promote the sale even when y'all were fighting. But again, affiliates, that's how it works. So I spent way too much time on that. So the next point number 2, or opinion number 2 of why things went south. So everybody in this group was saying that they were concerned for Jen's safety. So I'm going to say this with my entire chest and with every belief that I have in my body. If you believe that your friend is in danger or is being manipulated by someone, it is absolutely okay to set boundaries. However, if you truly love and care for your friend or your friendship, you don't subtweet rude things about them. You don't accuse them of being responsible for the problems that are being created because of this situation. You don't threaten to share these manipulative texts. You don't poke this dangerous bear. She's currently, stay on track, Mercedes, stay on track, girl. And again, in a long ass video, you stated, Nick, you stated that when Jen was around her boyfriend, she would have to whisper on the phone with you. Now, there are a lot of things that made me believe that Nick is a very unreliable narrator, but being angry at your friend who you believe is being manipulated and potentially abused for whispering around the person that is potentially or allegedly manipulating and abusing her, Nick, this is not the flex that you thought it was. I know that people are hyping you up underneath your video, but that is such a bad look. I really hope that there's a whole lot of context that I'm missing in this situation. But from my perspective, shit friends. It's given bad friends. It's given coworker. It's given I'm contributing 20% of the household income. It's given somebody else is paying my bills. Mercedes. This is 6 videos in and I'm never going to see the internet again. Woo, call me Mango Tea, baby. Also, nothing could make me more furious than this. I have experiences on both sides of this situation. You can swear me into the justice system, make me swear on the Bible, and be sure that my friends, my actual friends, would never abandon me or our friendship if they thought I was in danger. If they thought I was truly in danger. And as I would never for my friends. That is friendship. Again, you can set boundaries. You can keep yourself safe. But abandoning? Oh, nothing could make me more mad. I'm mad. I need to calm down. Your friends or you can say to you in this situation, listen, hey girl, I'm going to need to step back from this situation a little bit to keep myself safe. But the moment you need me, call me. The moment you're in danger, call me. Rain, sleet, snow, whatever, call me. I'm going to help. That is it. That is friendship. So all these little influencers, listen, content creators, whatever we want to call them, stop calling each other friends. If it is based on, if you are in a contract with somebody and you are making money with somebody, stop calling them your friend. 99% of them are not your friends. They're not your friends. These are coworkers. These are peers. These are 90-day evaluations. Okay. The next opinion that the boyfriend and Jen brought this to the internet. That's not true. It's just not. It's absolutely false. Dustin made a tweet saying he was replying to a tweet of a tweet of a twit. I don't know how this works, but he responded because Jen said that he was subtweeting her. And he said, liar!
Liar! Liar! Listen. Liar!
I did not subtweet you. Yes, you did. Here's the tweet. I don't know where I'm going to put it on the screen. Here's the tweet. You did subtweet her. Unless you're saying that something happened on the exact same day that is very similar to this situation that we're talking about. Who is this about? Who else was it about, Dustin? You did. Just say it. You can call a lie, but this one wasn't. Okay. I don't think I've been this fired up before. I knew I was going to do this, but just rant on this video. Nick, the tweet. I'm sorry, Jesus. The tweet saying that y'all were in danger that you posted on Twitter. Swear on a stack of Gucci flip-flops that was to keep you safe. What were your Twitter followers going to do? What did you expect would happen when you posted this tweet on the tweeters? Did you think that, because I follow you, I'm one of your followers, probably not after this when he figures out my name, but did you think I was going to come help? Or was there somebody, who was it that you didn't have their personal cell phone to let them know that you weren't going to be safe? Who was this tweet for? I need to know. And Paige, if you're watching this too, why did he tweet that? You even said that he felt the need, he needed to tweet this because of the threats and harassment that he was getting from the boyfriend. Why? What was Twitter going to do? You already said in the tweet that multiple people knew about the entire situation and knew where y'all were going to be and knew the situation. What was the tweet for? What
does the nanny do?
What was the tweet for? What was it for? And another thing, just another red flag, this is how videos are made, according to Nick Snider. Another red flag. You did not use Jen's name or the boyfriend's name in any of your tweets. But the internet is very smart and the internet is always snooping. We are perceptive. So in less than 24 hours, someone on Reddit had already put together that the tweet that you had posted was about something going on between you, Dustin, and Jen. That quick. So even if you say nobody knew what this is about, girl, yes, they did. Yes, they did. You made it clear when you unfollowed each other. You know who else knows exactly who and what this tweet is about? The 8 people on the intervention team, the unqualified intervention team. Jen knew about it. The boyfriend knew who this was about. So tell me this. If you see someone subtweets you and calls you dangerous, says that you're harassing them, you're in danger, you got to flee the country, you got to do all these things, you got to do all this, you think that I'm just going to sit and be quiet on my couch? You don't think I'm going to have something to say? Yeah, I'm going to go on the internet and I'm going to defend myself because subtweet or not subtweet, I know you're talking about me and I got something to say about it. You can say nobody knew who this man was before all of this situation happened. He knew who he was and he has the right to say whatever he wants to on the World Wide Web, whether you like it or not. I said what I said and I'll say it again. And then also his full name was tweeted out by a friend. I tweeted this man's full government name, birth name. I know that you're big, tough talking on the 2-hour video, but this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I said what I said. All right. Point number 4, opinion number 4. There are multiple people involved in this situation. Nick has said this. Dustin has said this. Vanessa has said this, that Jen won't let this go and is doing all of this stuff behind the scenes. If she was doing things behind the scenes, and y'all were just being quiet about it, the lie detector determines that was a lie. That was a lie. Even not only after this situation happened, a couple weeks after, you were even tweeting that you no longer believed the situation between her and Jaclyn Hill, that it could possibly, it might not even be real. What do I know anymore? That might not even be real, girl. Now you need to let it go. You need to move on from this because not only can she have done something wrong to you, I still haven't found it, but I guess we'll see. Did she cross you or make you angry or whatever it was? Sure. Does that mean you need to drag up everything that she has ever said in a group message between friends and put it on the internet? Because one of the things in Nick's video that was so annoying to me was these people stopped being friends, all of them, immediately following this quote unquote interventions. It's in a text message that says, we're already no longer friends. So can you, at least blah, 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 not talk to the ex-wife, right? All of the things in many of the things in the 2-hour video from Nick Snider's response about her accusing him of doing meth or whatever it was, all that happened after this situation happened. So why were y'all not friends? Why'd y'all stop being friends? Was it because she talked too much about Jaclyn Hill? Girl, so do you. And even after you made your apology to Jaclyn Hill on Twitter, ridiculous, you still make videos about her. Because who on the internet doesn't drag Jaclyn Hill? And if Jaclyn Hill had sent me an email asking me for $250K, also, I'm looking at everything about her on Reddit. All of it. This is honestly the dumbest thing I've ever talked about. If you have no clue what I'm talking about Jaclyn Hill, I don't have time to rehash it. Go watch I think it's called The Sesh. It's a podcast. Jen Gerard went on there and talked about her relationship with Jaclyn Hill and the fallout that came from it. We're not going to talk about it here. Go find that out. Also, talking about Jen Gerard's past beef with somebody named Latricia, I don't remember, and somebody who was stalking her, and a sexual harassment claim, and a this and a that. What does that have to do with the color of tomatoes? Honestly, what does that got to do with you? Oh, these situations are very similar. All these things you're bringing up happened, and then you continue to live in the house paying $2,000. Paying $2,000. So, man, I knew why am I just ranting? So when you thought that she was responsible for the death of your cats, you didn't think that was a good time to move out? You didn't think so? Oh, okay. When you thought that she was manipulating you by forcing you to make Jaclyn Hill videos or whatever you think that she was doing, you didn't think to move out? No? Okay. Okay. You do you. You do you, buddy. It is my opinion that the situation about Jen bringing up dabs, oh God, I don't even want to say it. First of all, I had to Google what a dabs is because I am 33 and I don't know anything about anything. So apparently dabs is something like a marijuana. I don't know, but everybody knows that y'all smoke pot. So what's the difference? What do you know about dabs? We know that y'all know about them. And so what if she did? Who cares? This is a big case of, well, I did this, but did you see what she did? Just don't. And again, yeah, it's a rant, but the internet is free. You don't have to be here and you don't have to listen. It is what it is. In my notes, I write, Nick Snider's dusty ass 2-hour video. I wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling it. Twitter fingers turned to trigger fingers. Is that what it is? Trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers. That's this. I don't have the time to go through everything in Nick's video that was problematic. There's a couple of things that I want to point out. And the reason that I have such strong opinions on this is likely a lot more about some very small pieces of the information that were brought up that really just did not sit right with me. There was a text message exchange between, I believe it was Nick and Jen, that said, "We saved your life." Now, let me give some context. They had a house fire in 2022, I believe. And it is said that Dustin saved Jen's life, woke her up, got her and her dog out of the house before it burned down. That's great. In this text message, Nick, I believe, says, and I'll put it on the screen so I can be corrected if I'm wrong, "We saved your life just so you could turn around and be in an abusive relationship." What? If you save somebody's life, is it conditional? Hey, I'll save you, but girl, don't get abused. Don't do it. I don't have time for that shit. It's just, I don't know. It's so aggravating. Okay. So anyways, I don't think that this video is going to go over well. I truly don't care. I don't make any money off of this channel anyway, because nobody's watching this. But I felt like I needed to say what I wanted to say. Moral of this story is just be better to your friends. Make sure you have real friends. And if you can't do that, just do dabs in a recorded bathroom. Bye. Leave a comment. How long you think till I get blocked? Block, 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 block. Everybody. Sad to think. I bet Paige won't like me. That's okay. I thought we would be friends. Guess that was just my imagination.